Okay, our topic is 25 years of the coalition era, its lessons. Okay, this coalition period in India from 1989 to 2014. Okay, in order to write down this essay, first we have to, the first well-equipped draft structure is more important. Then only we can frame the essay within the time span, within the prescribed time limit and within the word limit, so that we can complete the essay within 50 minutes or 45 minutes, excluding the time for the formatting. Okay, this is what. So understanding the question, first understanding the question. What do you mean by understand the question? We have to identify the first 5 essential elements of any question, whether it is an essay question or anything. There are 5 elements within this question. What are the 5 elements? Number 1 is
task words.
Task words. As far as the task words are concerned in this topic, the most important task words is define. Define. What do you define? What do you mean by define? Define of the main word, the keyword. Define. Define means not only give the meaning and its characteristics as well. That is what the define. Question tag. Next, discussion is important. Discussion. Next, elucidation. Comparison. Comparison with the coalition with the stable governments. Stable governments of remaining 50 years. So that comparison is important. Next one, elucidation is important. And explain. Explanation is important for the reasons or else account for. Okay? Analyze. Elucidation. Analyze. You have to analyze the things, various things. And critically examine. This is a lessons, mostly lessons. Critically examination, critical review, or else critical evaluation. Most important this one. Or assessment, strengths and weaknesses of this coalition era. That is also important. Evaluation and critical review examination we will do main essay. These type of the question tags implicitly is there, not explicitly. Examiner in the modern essays, in the highly evaluated, evolved UPSC question paper, examiner not giving any explicit question tags. So we have to identify the question tags, the implicit question tags in each and every question. Because essay, simple essay is nothing but an argument, well-argued piece of writing. Well-argued piece of writing, that means general essay. Here we have to argue means question and answer, question and answer, question and answer. We will use these question tags. Okay, we will give answer. That's what that makes well-argued piece of writing. Okay. Next important, what are you have to identify the keywords in this essay question. What are the keywords? 25 years of coalition era and lessons. These are the keywords. Very important keywords. Next, content words. What are the content words? Same words. Coalition era and its lessons. Next most important is limiting words. Limiting words. There are 3 types of limiting words. Number 1, geographical. As far as the coalition era and its lesson, this topic is concerned, we will confine to geographical area of India, because this is the coalition era of India, not the world. There are so many coalition eras in Italy, Japan. They have always been in coalition governments. We will not discuss. This is for India. So geographically we will confine to only India. Next, as far as the other issue of the limiting words is time. What is the time? Coalition era, 25 years. This is what the period of time. We will confine to this period of time only. 1989 to 2014. This is known as coalition era. Next one is subjects. What is the limiting word? Subject related to socio-economic, political, science and tech, every dimension of this topic. So every dimension is there. Most of the dimensions are there, not 12 dimensions, but most of around half dozen dimensions are there. Social, economical, political, foreign, science and tech, and other dimensions are there. Okay, even ethical as well. A lot of scams also resurfaced during this period. So that's why ethical dimension is important. Okay, psychological dimension, psychological, because what are psychology? Political party psychology is different during this period. That's why psychological dimension is also very important. Okay, this is what this topic, so that we can decode it. Decode this. Okay, by identifying these 5 parts, essential parts of this question, we can understand the question properly. This is very important to maintain relevant answer, to maintain flow of writing. Okay, next important thing is draft structure. So we have to frame the draft structure by spending at least 5 minutes. 5 minutes we have to spend for the draft structure. After that we will follow that draft structure in order to produce a general essay for around 50 minutes, 45 to 50 minutes. Okay, look at this structure, draft structure. Introduction, the last one is conclusion. One page, out of the one page, rough page, the heading on this rough page is rough page. Finally we will strike down it. Okay, this is the rough page. Rough page. So introduction, this one. As far as the introduction is concerned, here introduction, here introduction, here definition. This definition will become transition to in between introduction as well as main body. Okay, it is neither part of the introduction nor part of the main body, or else it is a part, the transition between the introduction and main body. Okay, finally conclusion we will give. In between there is a main body. As far as this main body is concerned, we will follow this word. Again read the question. 25 years of the coalition era and its lessons. So based on the requirement of this question, we will frame the structure. This is entirely different. As it demands the question, we will frame the structure. This is very important. So this is the main task or the key step as far as the producing highest scoring essay. Okay, just try to observe it. Next, as far as the definition is concerned, what is coalition? What is coalition? After introduction. Next, characteristics. Characteristics of coalition. Characteristics of coalition. This is what the definition for. Later introduction. Next immediately in the main body, historical dimension. Historical dimension. For historical dimension, points are very important like this. Many points. This is the one page. You have to frame it in one phase. If you are wrong in this one, you will collapse. Nothing, no use. Be careful what I am telling. Okay, historical dimension, within bracket, evolution of coalition. Evolution of coalition. Historical dimension or evolution of coalition in India. Evolution. Okay, next what is the next reasonable step? So based on this topic only, next reasons. Reasons which leads to coalition politics in India. Reasons for the coalition politics in India. రంజిత్ జీ గారు మీరు రాసే విధానం తప్పు పేజ్ మీద మొత్తం టోటల్ పేజ్ ఉండాలి. సో యూ షుడ్ రైట్ ది ఎంటైర్ పేజ్. దట్స్ రాంగ్. ఓకే. రీజన్స్. వాట్ ఆర్ ది రీజన్స్ వీ హ్యావ్ టు ఐడెంటిఫై? వేరియస్ రీజన్స్. You have to identify various reasons. What are the reasons for the coalition politics in India?
Regional politics.
Okay. Okay. We will thought it. This is the disintegration of the Congress. Disintegration of the Congress. Further, there are so many reasons. Okay. Like this, we have to find out the reasons which leads to the establishment of the coalition governments in India. Next, after that, merits of the coalition. Merits. Next, demerits. Merits are advantages. Demerits are disadvantages. Disadvantages are the consequences of the coalition politics. Next step. What challenges this period faces? What challenges it faces? What challenges it faces? That's what the lessons. Within bracket, or no need. What kind of challenges this period faces? Do you know these challenges are probably historic in terms of the independent history itself? Like economic crisis. It faces a huge challenges of independent India. What challenges it faces? Next, lessons. Next, lessons. Challenges it faces. Next, lessons of it. Lessons in terms of political lessons. Out of it, these political lessons, democratic, constitutional, etc. Okay. Next, lessons for the people. Next, lessons for the institutions, democratic institutions. And others. Various lessons. What lessons we got from it, this era? Even social dimension as well as. There are various dimensions for the lessons out of it. Next, finally, conclusion. See, if you look at this structure, it may appear differently. It appears differently, distracted from the earlier, but it is in accordance with these demands of this question. You have to frame, that is your discretion, your creativity. But so that we can maintain this kind of relevance for this 25 years of coalition era and its lessons. Okay, we will discuss the entire spectrum of this coalition era. This is what the introduction. This is the draft structure. Introduction, conclusion, in between this draft structure. If you fail in framing this draft structure, your building will be collapsed. Your building will be collapsed. That's all. So you should learn how to frame the draft structure or else plot for this essay, for which you are going to write down for around 50 minutes. 50 minutes. You will produce more than 1000 words. This is what the important. Okay? So we will discuss the entire essay based on the draft structure only. Okay? Introduction. For this essay, what kind of introduction is better? There are 5 to 6 types of introductions are there. There are 5 to 6 ways to produce well introduction, good introduction. As far as out of it, the number 1 is quotation, data, okay, anecdote, a small story, current affairs. What are the others? Quotations or your own quotation, etc., etc. Relevant current affairs also. Out of it, which is better for it? Which is better for it? Right away. The coalition era with, right down, with 8 elections, with 8 general elections, with 8 general election, 8, if anybody used the word, direct this number, that is faulty. 8, EIGHT, with 8 general elections instead of 5, and 11 governments instead of 5 during the 25 years of the coalition era from 1989 to you should use this one. Okay, well framed structure is important. From 1989 to 2014 is known for, during the coalition era of 25 years, whether you have it, 25 years from 1989 to 2014 is known for political instability. Various disabilities, and chose on account of inherent weaknesses of Indian coalition politics, full stop. However, within this paragraph, however, this era is historic and unique. And unparalleled. So you are stressing by using 3 words, not similar words, These three words are not similar. It is a historic, okay, unique and unparalleled in terms of the problems, in terms of the formidable problems. You are using adjective formidable, it's not a simple challenge. In terms of the formidable challenges that it has faced, in terms of the constitution, democracy, politics, economic, social, foreign friend, and so on. Full stop. So look at the introduction, how we are framing it. With the data we framed it. But however we are expanding this one. So introduction characteristic is mostly, it should act as an essence of the essay which we are going to write down. Okay? In other words, full stop. In other words, within the same paragraph. In other words, comma. The 25 years out of the 75 years of independent Indian democratic history, okay, the 25 years of era out of the 75 years of the democratic independent history, okay, it has both negative and positive dimensions, as well. Full stop. It has given very important lessons to our nation. Various important lessons to our nation, which are essential for further all out means socio-economic, political, all out development of our nation and implementation of constitution in India. Next paragraph should start like this. After leaving this one, you have to leave it one line space, then start from here. Okay? Next paragraph. In the next paragraph, what we have to do? We have to define the coalition era, and we have to write down the characteristics of the coalition era, coalition politics. What do you mean by coalition? That's what important. You have to define. How to define it? What do you mean by coalition?
Forming a government with multiple parties.
Coalition government, write down. The coalition government refers to the formation of a government by various political parties, by joining hands irrespective of their interests and ideologies, irrespective of their interest, differences and ideologies, in order to seize the power, when no party emerged as a
Majority.
when no party emerged as a victor in the elections. Full stop. This is also known as minority party government. Full stop. India experienced this kind of coalition politics uninterruptedly for 25 years. A whopping 25 years. Uninterruptedly, a whopping, whopping. What do you mean by whopping? A whopping 25 years. Right from 1989 to 2014. 1918 for 25 years. That is right from 1989 to 2014. Next paragraph. The coalition politics or governments have been unique. Due to its various characteristics. Full stop. Due to various characteristics, no need any full stop, such as various characteristics, such as. See, look at, there are so many characteristics, around 10 or 12, but we need only salient, very important characteristics. That too, we have to condense them. Brevity is important. Okay, various characteristics, such as. What are the various characteristics? Various characteristics. Various characteristics. Like various characteristics such as
There is no similarity.
Unstable government. Regional parties.
unstable or unstable and chaotic political situation, comma, main purpose is to seize the power, SEIZE, to seize the power. Pragmatism, next, comma, pragmatism and not ideology is the pragmatism and not ideology is the hallmark of coalition. Pragmatism, PRE, not FRE, pragmatism and not ideology is the hallmark of it, comma, based on the common minimum program or joint agenda. Based on the common minimum program or joint agenda or manifesto. Compromises and sinking differences of various coalition partners. Etc. See, look at that paragraph. So we defined and we have given the various characteristics of the coalition politics. In India, what we are discussing is in India. These are the various characteristics of the coalition politics. Coalition is nothing but joining hands by the various political parties by sinking their differences, interests. The main purpose is to seize the power. That's all, simple in coalition. But they are saying that we are for the providing stable government. But that's not true. To seize the power. Of course, that is also, it is implicitly they are providing stable governments. The main purpose is to seize the power. The main purpose of the political parties in any democratic country is that to seize the power. To seize the power. But it's not a negative. That is the main objective. How they are ruling, that is a different. But to seize the power. Okay, next, not an etc. But abruptly we should not end it. So we have to add something for it. Because we are going to enter into main body. So this is a transitional paragraph. This kind of coalition politics are common. This kind of coalition governments are not uncommon. See, simply common instead of common, not uncommon. Because this is an essay now. This kind of coalition governments are not uncommon in modern democracies in general. And multi-party democracies in particular, like in India. See, look at the sentence. Examiner should concentrate on this sentence, otherwise he cannot understand. So why are you giving such a complex sentence with a lot of dimensions? There is a third dimension in this one. Even in linguistically we are confusing. We are not confusing in fact. We are stressing something. Because we are entering into this main body. So where we are alerting the examiner. Look at the sentence. This kind of coalition governments are not uncommon in modern democracies in general and multi-party democracies in particular, like in India. India is a modern democracy and multi-party system is there. Okay, multi-party. Where the coalitions are common, we have to face it at any time. Like what happened in Japan. Whereas in Britain and the so-called mothers of the democratic nations like UK and America, in the USA, we can't see coalitions. Why? Because only two-party system, bi-party system is there. There is no question of the coalition. But from where we adopted many things in our constitution, but no experiences from the UK and USA. See, that is another trouble. So we have to face it, this unique trouble to India. Next, as far as Italy and Japan is concerned, we have certain experiences. In Japan and Italy are the mostly multi-party system, where the coalition governments are. So we had experiences from these two nations mostly, and various other European nations. But as far as India, it is a democratic, modern democracy and well systemized governments because of constitution. Okay, next thing is it's a multi-party system. So India has chosen multi-party democracy rather than what UK and USA, from where we got lot of things, lot of features. So multi-party democracy, it is a unique characteristic of India, where these coalitions are common. We can't avoid it. But fortunately we have faced it. But unfortunately, we have faced this coalition politics where India plummeted to lowest level economically, politically, in terms of foreign, in terms of various methods. This is the biggest problem. When India faced a lot of troubles, India has been passed through this coalition politics. This is what. But during this period, India has showcased its strength. In what? Indian constitution has showcased its inherent strength. Indian democracy has showcased its strength, real strength. And even Indian water has showcased their lot of perseverance, lot of commitment and their determination in democratic politics, democracy, especially waters. And even Indian political parties also successfully they have been tested during the coalition because they have forgotten their ideologies. The Communist and Congress and BJP. See, look at, there are three types of political parties in any nation, in any democracy. There are liberal political party. That's what neutral, liberal, which is suitable for every sections. And left, mostly communist, Karl Marx ideology, Leninist, Mao ideology, mostly. Okay? Another one is right wing, the so-called religious parties. So-called religious parties like Shiva Sena, BJP, MIM. There are so many parties in India. Liberal parties, liberal is nothing but Congress, the Liberal Democratic Party. Left party, CPIM, CPI, etc., etc. These are the left parties in India. In every nation we can see these parties. Even in Germany also, coalition politics also. Multi-party systems. Okay, even Green Party, environmental orientation party is also there in Germany. In Germany, there are fourth wing also. But in India, there are three kinds of political parties: left, right, and middle. Simple. Okay, these are the parties. But as far as India is concerned, during this coalition era, various political parties from these three wings have been formed the governments at various times by sinking their differences, by setting aside of their ideologies, rigid ideologies. They have proved that they are pragmatic in nature. They have proved that they are looking for the not only for the stability of the governments. Whatever the reasons, we have successfully passed through this chaotic era, the so-called instability, political instable era. But not only passed through simply, we have faced the most dangerous problems in independent India itself. That is what the beauty of Indian democracy, that is the beauty of Indian coalition politics. And mostly the most important thing is Indian constitution has proved its inherent strength, which is far higher, far superior than the so-called mothers of democracy, the UK and US. UK and USA might not have faced such troubles like what India had faced during this era. So Indian constitution has proved its strength, inherent strength. And in fact, this coalition era enriched Indian democratic system. It strengthened the Indian democratic system. It is not negative. Okay, by posing the various challenges, formidable challenges, okay, it has strengthened the Indian democracy. It has proved the inherent strength of the Indian constitution. Tested the determination of the people in the democracy. They proved, na? So for even few months, they went to general elections. They voted. They didn't abstain from voting. Whenever the general elections coming during the coalition era, they voted. With the same manner, with the same enthusiasm, they voted. They exercised their franchise. They proved beyond anything. That is the most important achievement from the coalition era. They passed in their test, democratic test. So India strengthened itself. So coalition is not a negative thing. There are various positives. The positive is more powerful than the negative effects of the coalition. You have to prove it. That's what the lessons. This is what this is what essay. Okay? Next you can write down in point manner, simply. You can frame the paragraphs later. Next, what is the next? As far as our draft structure, what is the next? Huh? As per our draft structure, we will enter into historical dimension. Okay? Now, historically, or as far as the historically, or as far as the evolution of coalition politics is concerned, coalitional politics are concerned. So we will write down in paragraph, but in terms of this one, we have to discuss in various. This 25 years of the coalition for era, that is 1989 to this 2014. This evolution. You know, that the first, before this era, the first coalition government formed in India, in 1969. Almost a coalition, not a full-fledged, but in 1969, the first coalition government was formed. In 1969, the Congress, the Indian National Congress was split into Congress and Congress India, Congress side. Okay, it was split. During that time, the ruling Indira's splinter group become minority, less than the required number of seats. At that time, the CPI, DMK, and other parties supported the Indira. Okay, that was the first coalition government in India in 1969 until the 1971 general elections. For 2 years, Indira was managed the government by the support, outside support of the CPI and DMK. That was the first coalition government in India. Next, 1977 to 1980, almost 2.5 years to 3 years. The Janata government, with the support of so many political parties. Okay, this is the second coalition government. You should write down in point-wise manner below this one. Don't look at me. 1977 to 1980, Janata government. Immediately after the emergency, after the end of emergency. These are the second coalition government in India. But it ended within 2.5 years. It saw 2 prime ministers, 2 PMs, 2 prime ministers it saw. Become mostly chaotic and instability characterized by this government. There is no policy consistency as well. Okay? It demolished itself. Finally, India went to general election in 1980. Okay? In 1980, general election, again Congress returned to power. No problem. Single party rule again. So this is the first and second coalition, but there are interruptions in between this time period. That's why we didn't consider these as a part of these 25 years coalition. However, these coalitions. Next. So if you go to before that one, in 1950, the first general elections has happened. The first general election, 1950-51. And in 50-51, first general election, not simply one table is better. Look at a table, draw a table. General election number, general elections, year. General elections and year. Party. Party. Largest party or else largest party. Type of government. Type of government. What is the type of government? Whether it is a majority, within bracket majority or coalition government. Majority or coalition government. Majority or coalition. This is what the matter we require for this essay, for historical background. Unless we have idea about it, it is very important. It is not good for the writing essay. You should convey your knowledge related to it. This is what this constitute content, knowledge part of that essay. Okay. Anyway, this you will read in polity as a part of Indian polity coalition. Okay. First general elections. This first general election is happened in 1950-51. This is the most important in India itself. From 1950 October to 1951 February. We need it in the latter part as well. 1950-51. 1950 October to 1951 February. The first general elections had been happened during this period. In this period, the party is INC, Indian National Congress. Type of government, majority. Nehru na Jawaharlal Nehru, no trouble. Next second general elections. 1956. 1957. Second general elections in 1957. Exactly within 5 years. Same. Indian National Congress. Majority. Same. Next general election 1962. Third. 1962. Same. Indian National Congress. Majority. Majority government. Type of government. So no trouble of any coalition. Next, fourth general elections. 1971. 1971. Same. Indian National Congress and majority. Up to 4. No trouble. Next, fifth general elections. Fifth na? 1, 2, 3, 4. 67. Sorry. This is 67. Fourth general election. No trouble. But post Nehru era. Do you know Nehru died in 1964? 67. INC. Indian National Congress emerged as the great party. But the trouble started. This Lal Bahadur Shastri, Indira Gandhi came to power. This era. Next 1971. Fifth. 1971. Same. INC and this one. Next, sixth general elections. Sixth. 1977. 1977, right over here. Around how many years? 6 years, na? Around 6.5 years, because Lok Sabha was extended. Around 2 years. Because of emergency period. 1977. Janata. The first time you have to change Janata government. Janata Party. Janata Party. Okay? This is what the government form is. You have to change coalition. Coalition government. Next, 1980. This is 7th general elections. 1980. So you look at only within 2.5 years, it collapsed, demolished this government. 1980. Again INC, Indian National Congress, majority. Majority government. Next, 1984. 1984. Why 1984? Assassination of Indira. Rajiv went to elections just before 1 year. He went to election. That's why 1984. No other trouble. Next 8th elections 1984. INC. Majority party. Next 1989. 8th na? 9th general elections. (1989). Parties in power is write down this coalition. Actually, major party is INC, no doubt. But the thing is coalition. Here write down coalition partners. Coalition government. Started in this coalition era. 1989. Next write down. 9th after 10th. 1991. 1991. 1991 BJP. BJP is nothing but within bracket major party. Major party, but not got the full majority. Coalition. Next 1996.
Sir, 91.
Sorry.
91.
91 INC. 1990 INC PV. 1989 as well INC. Next 1996. That's what, how many elections? Number 11th. 1996 BJP. Major party BJP, but coalition. Type of government coalition. Next 1998. 1998 BJP coalition. Next 13th 1999. See, within 1 year, probably not within less than 1 year, these elections. 13th general election 1999 INC, major party coalition government.
Sir,
1990.
Vajpayee,
Sir, Vajpayee total.
1999 major party is the BJP, but that NDA coalition government name is NDA, United Front, NDA, etc. But we are talking about what is the major party. Okay, major party. You can add various features to this table. Actually, you have to add the various turnout of the percentage. That is very important in the next essay. Electoral reforms. We will discuss that essay later. Where this turnouting, percentage of turnout, number of voters. We have to add various features to this table, so that we can meet various topics. Okay, topics. Number of seats in Lok Sabha. Yeah, actually in first Lok Sabha 483. But now around 543. This also has been increased. Even water turnout is also important. For example, in the last 17th general elections, the water turnout is 67%, highest in Indian democratic history. Total waters is 91 crore. That is also important. Related to election commission. Okay, next. After 1999, 13 general elections, 14, 2004. Again, INC becomes the largest party. That is UPA1 government, coalition government. Next, 2009. In 2009, 15th na?
Yes, sir.
15, 2009. What is the party? BJP. 2009, Congress. 2009, Congress. UPA 2. Next, 16th, 2014, BJP majority. Now you have to change the name. Majority. Next, 17th, 2019. Again BJP majority. See, look at since 1989 to up to 2014, coalition uninterruptedly, incessantly, there has been coalition governments. See, look at this one. This is the period we are terming it as a coalition era. But earlier also there were coalition governments in 1969, 1977, etc. But that we need not consider that, because that is not the part of this consistent period, uninterrupted. Okay, around 20, exactly 1 quarter. 1 quarter century, 25 years, uninterrupted coalition period. See, what you have to observe from this one, there are 8 general elections. See, look at 8, there are up to 2014, there are 8 general elections, 11 government, 11 prime ministers. during this period. Because for example, 89 to 1991, there are two prime ministers, VP Singh and Chandrasekhar, within the same general election. From 1991 to 96, only PV. From 1991 to 96, two prime ministers. Two, like Deve Gowda, A.K. Gujral, etc., etc. So, 8 general election within 25 years. Instead of the 5 general election, we had 8 general elections. Okay? Instead of the 5 prime ministers, we had 11 prime ministers. It indicates what? Instability. Political instability. That's what the main important characteristic of the coalition politics. Okay? This constitutes history or evolution of the coalition politics. That's all simple. But we will explain in terms of reasons later. What is the next? What's next? In our draft, go to draft.
Reasons.
Reasons. Now we have to explain the reasons for the coalition government, side heading. But it's not, in the actual essay we should not write down. Okay? Reasons. As a paragraph, reasons. If it is a paragraph, like you have to. Reasons. Okay? As far as the reasons for this uninterrupted one quarter century of the uninterrupted coalition era in India is concerned. Okay? There are various reasons like this. You should continue like this paragraph, but write down as a reasons like this. No. What are the reasons? You have to explain now. Use your knowledge as well. Okay, what are the main reasons? Number 1 is disintegration of the grand old Indian National Congress, which led the Indian freedom struggle. Why disintegration? Actually, that is the main reason. Okay, leave it. Next point.
Rise of regionalism.
Emergence of strong regional parties and influential regional leaders based on strong regional leaders. Next point. Decline of democratic values. Which was reached to crescendo with the imposition of emergency. Which is further contributed to disintegration of the Congress, disintegration of the Congress, and trust in
Single part.
national parties, and trust in national parties and their leadership, especially leadership and their leadership. Next, rise of regional, communal, linguistic and caste-based ideologies. That is the main reason. For example, 1983, for example, see, 1983, 1982, TDP in AP. Okay? Shiva Sena in Maharashtra, that is communal in nature, mostly communal. Next, SP, BSP in the north, based on caste, BC parties and Dalit parties. What are the other parties? SP, BC party, BSP, Bahujan, okay, Dalit party, and Lok Janashakti, LJP in Bihar, LJP. That is also Dalit party. So these are the parties actually, and caste based, religious based. Next, MIM is strengthened, further strengthened. MIM and DMK, this AIDMK in Tamil Nadu, they have further strengthened their base. Next, splitting of the Congress in various regions of the country. The splinter groups of the Congress in various regions of India become strong forces. The splinter groups or leaders of the INC in various regions of India become strong forces. Do you know? You have to explain. What are they? Sharad Pawar, NCP. So these kind of examples are very important. Sharad Pawar is a strong leader, a national party now. But he was the part of, he used to be part of the Congress, strong leader. He was separated from the Congress, become a national party. Okay? Next, Mamata Banerjee in West Bengal. What are the parties? Other parties? Other parties. Even YCP. Even VP Singh, right, or VP Singh, first of all. Even VP Singh is the first backbited the Congress for the first time. He was the finance minister during the government of the Rajiv Gandhi. Later he separated from it, become the prime minister under the Janata Dal, United Front. He was also strong leader now. So various leaders and various persons. And PS Sangma in Meghalaya. Now there is another party in Meghalaya area. So actually most of the present political parties are the ones, they were the parties of part of the Congress. the grand old party Congress, some great leaders of the now the living leadership, mostly from the Congress. Now they were separated, become a political forces, political ideologies, etc. etc. So that's actually Congress vote bank. So disintegration of the Congress is the main reason, for which there are so many reasons. Emergency, decline of the leadership, role of the leaders, for example Indira, during the Indira, the decline of the political standards, increase of the corruption. Okay, these are the reasons mostly. Communalism, rising of the communalism, racialism, linguistic identities. So these are contributed to the form of the coalition government, split of the vote banks, no majority for any single party. So led to the coalition government. This is what the coalition. But what happened by 2024, 2014? So again, but this majority is different. It's the so-called right-wing political party. It got the advantages from the disintegration of the Congress. Okay, it got the majority, full majority. But it is not pan-Indian political party even now. See, mostly in the North India, but not pan-Indian political party like Congress. Though the Congress disintegrated, still it is a pan-Indian political party. It has presence in every nook and corner of India, first of all. But whereas the present ruling political party, though it got most of the seats in the around more than 3/5 of the seats in Lok Sabha, its presence across the country we can't find. So it is struggling to get the pan-Indian identity now. But on the other hand, Congress is struggle to regain its strength. So this is what the present state of Indian politics. But when compared to earlier political standards, democratic standards, we can see, okay, it is almost possible that there is a visible decline of in terms of leadership role, in terms of their charismaticism, etc. etc. In the first three general election, Nehru full majority. The majority is also around 70%, 74%. Now this Congress, this BJP, it got the full majority, but vote sharing is only 36%. See, that is also another kind of decline. Political confusion, ambiguity among the mindset of the voter. By lot of ideologies, lot of leaders, lot of political parties. That's why there is a one question. Why should we shift it to the two-party system like this UK and this one, so that we can achieve this? But however, it is not suitable for India because in the context of India's huge diversity, two-party system is not at all suitable. They are well thought and considered and contemplated over it by the constitutional framers. They have chosen this multi-party system. It is suitable for India because Indian politics should represent the all diversity, almost all immense diversity. So this multi-party system is very suitable. These all kinds of discussions will come up. However, you can use them. But these points are the reason. Next one. Merits or advantages of the coalition governments. What advantages we gained, we approved during the coalition, that's what we have to explain. And what are the advantages we have? Merits are disadvantages. Merits are advantages of coalition era in India. What? Merits. They provided the political stability. Provided political stability by struggling, whatever that one. They provided political stability. Next one. Broad representation. Broad representation. In the majority government, they are represented by only one party or other thing. But whereas in the coalition, in sometimes in the NDA 1, the coalitions are around 24 coalition partners. 24 parties combinedly created the government, formed the government. 24 political parties, which includes regional mostly, national, various even religious parties as well. Even Shiva Sena, DMK, linguistic based parties. So various regional oriented parties. So various ideologies, by syncing their various differences ideology, they formed the government. So they represented huge, na? That's what. Broad representation. Which means which is more suitable for the diversified country like India. Broad representation. Next advantage. Even regional party heads become the prime ministers and national and union ministers. Even regional party heads also become prime ministers and union ministers. For example, Deve Gowda, George Fernandez, Nitish Kumar, Lalu Prasad Yadav. They are regional parties. They had not any opportunity to become national union minister, prime minister, but they become. So they got the representation at the union level. That is also advantage. No? The first prime minister from South India during the coalition era. And next, even during the coalition, PV Narasimha as well. Next. So most of number of persons become the union minister from South India. They played a great role. You know, that is not easy. That is also advantage. Na? They got representation. Entire India got representation in the union power at the Hastina. Next advantage. Political pragmatism instead of rigidity. It is the advantage. It strengthened the federal fabric. This era strengthened the federal fabric. The constitution has been converted into federal constitution during this era. Do you know? Actually, as per our constitution, our Indian government is neither federal nor unitary. But because of the coalition era, this is simply converted as a federal government. Because most of the regional parties represented in this one. So they have to respect the regionalism. Regional parties, state parties. So federal fabric, strengthen the federal fabric. The constitution simply converted as a federal in nature. So India experienced real federalism during this era. India experienced real federalism. That is also one advantage. Next, consensus-based politics. Consensus-based politics. India learned consensus-based politics. So these are the most of the advantages. We not mentioned everything. Next, disadvantages or demerits from the coalition politics in India. Disadvantages or demerits. That is the most important thing. The first disadvantage is political instability. Political instability, chaos and confusion. Political instability, chaos and confusion affected the economy. Next disadvantages from this one is what?
Corruption.
Kingmakers. Kingmakers like super prime ministers, and super cabinet. Below write down simply. The steering committee of the coalition government, the steering committee of various parties of coalition government becomes more stronger than cabinet and emerged as a super cabinet. That is most important now. What is the value of the cabinet decisions? So the value of the steering committee of the parties of the coalition government were more prominent than the actual cabinet. That's what the constitution. Next, super prime minister, even coalition government, even prime minister also had to consult the coalition parties to take the even national level, national interest, various important decisions. So the coalition, for example, during the NDA, during the UPA government 1 or UPA government 2 period, the DMK becomes super prime minister while dealing with the Sri Lankan Tamil entity issue. Because entity, in order to defeat the total, eliminate entity, the Sri Lanka army is completely involved in this war with the Prabhakar. During this era, the Sri Lanka government requested the help, assistance, necessary assistance from Indian government. But the DMK party objected it. Without convincing it, the national government could not support it. It could not support actually. What happened? Without India's assistance. But however, according to some reports that this is implicitly the government has supported it. It had various channels like US, etc. Okay, see, that is very important. Elimination of Tamil Prabhakar is more important for India rather than Sri Lanka. It is our interest also. But it could not support to Sri Lanka government because of the coalition politics. So no value for the Prime Minister decision. So that is the best example once. Lot of so many things. When Mamata Banerjee prevented the then government to take various decisions as far as the Bangladesh is concerned. So even national interest as well, not only internal decisions. Okay, na? Even economic reforms process has been stagnated because of the coalition politics. So emergence of the super cabinets in the form of the steering committee of the parties of the coalition era and emergence of the super prime minister. For example, some coalition partners, Jayalalitha, Mamata Banerjee, DMK, etc. They reduced the value of the constitutionalism. They reduced the position of the constitutional post, head of the government. No value for the Prime Minister at that time. Declined the value of the Prime Minister. That's what the demerit, disadvantage from this one. Next one. Regionalism. Rising head of regionalism in India. Regionalism. Disproportionate rising of regionalism is not good. Regionalism is very good, but it should be in an assistance to the nationalism. But here regionalism dominated the nationalism. Actually, some regional leaders imposed their regional ideologies on entire nation. That's very dangerous. Very lot of disadvantages from this coalition era. Some regional leaders, through their key role in the coalition government, they imposed their regional ideologies on the entire nation, which is not augur well for the Indian democracy. The country like this unity in diversity. Okay, for example, Jayalalitha, AIDMK, and Mamata Banerjee, okay, from the West Bengal, they tried to impose their regional politics over the national. That's why regional parties have certain limitations. They emerged from the regional politics, regional requirements. Why can they impose national, their regional ideas on the entire nation? That is a different. Okay, next one. Next thing is this scams, various scams due to declining ethical politics. Declining ethical politics, ethical dimension. Okay, for example, 2G spectrum scam, 2G spectrum by one political party involved regional party, and coal scam. Coal scam na? Bofors is not the coalition. 2G, this one. Next, this Asian Games, this Delhi. Commonwealth Games, etc. This 2G is the best example. There is a number of scams. Mostly involvement of the regional leaders, because they got the treasure, national treasures, under their control. Simply they involve. They strengthen their political parties and their leadership. That is the disadvantages from this one. What are the other any demerits? No responsible governments. No responsible government. Why no responsibility government? If there is happened any defect at the national level, these coalition partners are skipping. So no, though I am part of this coalition era, it's not fault of me, the fault of this ruling. Because outside support, they can escape. Or though they are minister, no, I am the minister, but I could not take the decision because the coalition steering committee. So they found the pretexts to skip the responsibility. This is what no responsible governments at this fund. Do you listen? At the national level, it harmed the administrative standards, which harmed the administrative and democratic standards. Next demerit is frequent general elections. These are the general characteristics. Okay, frequent general elections imposed on the nation. On voters. Imposed on the nation. Leads to loss of public money and time, valuable time as well. Okay, these are the demerits from this one. Next one. What challenges is it faced? The challenges faced by nation. The unprecedented challenges it faced The unprecedented challenges faced by nation during the coalition era. What are the challenges it faced? This is the extra dimension we are discussing, but we have to tell about it. These are the part of lessons. Or else above the heading lessons itself. What kind of challenges we faced? So probably these are unprecedented during the independent history itself. Economic crisis of 1991. Economic crisis of 1991. That is the biggest economical crisis in independent history that we faced during the coalition era. Okay? But it has been overcome by embarking on LPG. By coalition governments found this solution. Next one. What is the next one? 1992 Babri Masjid demolition. It is the biggest, it is the biggest part during the coalition era. 1992 Babri Masjid demolition. Okay? Communal rights. Probably highest since partition of the country. Probably highest since partition of the country. Communal rights. It successfully faced by then coalition government led by P.V. Narasimha Rao. Led by P.V. By imposing Article 356 in 6 states. It proved that even coalition government could manage such a grave situations. Even this statement, this sentence is applicable to above economic crisis as well. That was faced by PV government. That was also coalition government. It proved its mettle now. That's all. Next, 2002. Gujarat communal rights, followed by Godra Carnage. It was dealt prudently by then Vajpayee government. Because that communal tensions was confined to only Gujarat only, do you know? That was the success of Vajpayee government, of course. It was dealt successfully by containing these violence only up to Gujarat only, not spread across the nation. It had the chance actually, like Babri Masjid. Because Babri Masjid demolition leads to communal rights in entire North India. In 356, Article 356 was imposed on 6 states. But in Gujarat, it was confined to Gujarat only. That was the success of then coalition government. Okay? Next, what are the other problems? On foreign front. End of on foreign front. Wait down, number 1. End of Cold War era. Followed by USSR disintegration. Within that point, another one is First Gulf War. Next, rising of oil prices in the international market. On foreign front, this has happened. This is what. But this has been successfully faced by various measures. What are the various measures? Lookish policy, pragmatism, pragmatic approach in foreign policy by maintaining cordial relationship with the Western blocs, Western countries like US. Western countries like US. Okay, that was given, that was faced by coalition government, PV government. Even coalition government rised to the occasion based on the problems it has faced. But these problems were unprecedented in nature in entire 75 years of independent history. See, look at the problems. Okay, next one. What is the next problem during this coalition? Global recessions. 2008, 2011. Global recession. 2008 and 2011. You know, that was also faced by the coalition governments. Next one. Atomic tests. Second atomic test, 1998. On Kargil, followed by Kargil War. Kargil War. Next important thing is rise of terrorism. Cross-border terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir. You know, this was happened during the coalition era. That too from coincidentally this is from 1989 only. This is international. War on international terrorism. Next one, next point, war on international terrorism. Followed by 11th September 2001. Attacks on Myanmar, US. Next, okay, these are the crises we have faced. While facing, we got huge results as well as. You know, next one, unprecedented economic growth. Unprecedented economic growth and developmental process during this era. Unprecedented growth and development during this era. Okay? Provide political stability even during this chaotic atmosphere. Even during this chaotic atmosphere. Next, these are the direct lessons. The above things are also lessons, but more clearly we are giving the lessons. This era proved the inherent strength of the Indian Constitution, that this era proved the inherent strength of the Indian Constitution, that it could face and solve even such a politically plummeted situations in a highly diversified country like India, in a highly diversified country like India, it proved its strength. Next, the people of India proved their commitment, proved their democratic commitment and determination, proved their democratic commitment and determination by eagerly responding to every kind of challenge, like frequent elections, various crises that India faced during this testing time. So various crises, above crises, while politicians are solving them, okay, they were happy now. They were supported the governments now. So they tested their democratic characteristic, democratic determination and commitment. So frequently there were elections. However, they eagerly voted. So for every few months there was an election now. So less than 1 year happened in 1999, 1998 before that. Indians were so eager to exercising their franchise. If they denied to voting, what would happen? The situation was different. Okay? But that is the most important lesson for everyone. Next, that various democratic institutions, constitutional institutions, various constitutional and democratic institutions enriched with the experiences of, with the various experiences. For example, EC learned how to deal with the coalition government. EC, Election Commission, Supreme Court of India, Election Commission, Supreme Court of India, okay, COG, even COG also, and parliamentary, various democratic institutions, they learned how to deal with such situations. Actually, this was the strength of our constitution. So EC played a great role, that to TN session. TN session emerged during that era. Supreme Court responded, very quickly responded to various situations. It has provided various SR Bombay cases, etc. The role of governor it dealt. So COG, various situations, the democratic institutions actually, who faced this situation, the instable and chaotic situation, these democratic institutions, they have successfully faced them. They got the experience. Now they are enriched. They can face any kind of situation. Okay, in this way, this era, by posing formidable challenges, tested the strength of our constitution, tested the constitution, democratic institutions, democratic institutions, patience of political parties, patience on efficacy of the political system, efficacy of the political system, comma, commitment and determination of Indian people towards democracy, and their constitution, because they prepared constitution and their constitution. Full stop. Full stop. Though the coalition era of 25 years is being considered as unstable, chaotic, and confusion, comma, the way it has faced the formidable, unprecedented challenges, in the 75 years of independent India. For the 75 years of independent India, such as 1991 economic crisis, communal rights, on external front, and others. It has historic role in entire independent India. It provided rich experiences to various wings of the democracy, various wings of our democratic system. Full stop. Forward this essay. It's a beautiful essay. See, look at how we dealt with this topic. The context is more important. Whatever the question you have faced on this correlation topic now. Okay? Okay. Tomorrow we will go for the same political topics. Like tomorrow's topics are anti-defection. Defection is not. It is a current affair. For example, what happened in Maharashtra. Okay, another thing is, though the actually elected government, elected party is different in Karnataka, in MP, but the ruling parties are different. And this even in Telangana, Andhra Pradesh also, there are a lot of defections, there is controversy. So in this respect, this anti-defection law is more important, anti-defections. That was another one topic. Another topic is electoral reforms. Tomorrow's topics are anti-defection, and electoral reforms. Okay? Next.